we're all a part of the mycorrhizal network. How many of y'all know what the mycorrhizal network is? Y'all know the trees talk to each other.
My name is Olivia Georgia, and I'm Executive Director of City is Living Laboratory. We were invited by the Department of Environment and Energy here in DC to develop a program that would draw attention to some of the flooding issues that the low-lying areas of the city are experiencing and that are worsening with climate change. We started by gathering a group of creative thinkers from George Mason University and people who are active in the community here in Anacostia. And with them, we came up with some ground rules, and we did a search for artists and decided on Cary and Nicole, and they've been amazing.
Hello, I am Cary Michael Robinson. I'm an interdisciplinary artist, which means I combine multiple art forms such as art, technology, and activism to inspire social change.
Hi, I'm Nicole Salimbene. I'm here as an artist for the project Head Above Waters, Respecting the Power of Water. I'm excited to be a part of this project. I think it brings together, it's a great example of bringing together artists, scientists, and community leaders, as well as the community, to talk about the power of water.
My name is Travis Gallo, and I am an assistant professor in the Environmental Science and Technology Department at the University of Maryland. I'm an urban ecologist, and a lot of the research I do is thinking about how green spaces in cities can contribute to improving the biological diversity in cities, and so that we have more nature in cities, and also how that nature that we're trying to conserve can improve the lives of urban residents. And so that relates to this project in the sense that we were walking around Watts Branch and Oxon Run, and these are vital resources in sort of the heart of Washington, D.C. The trees and the animals that live in these parks provide ecosystem services to the neighborhoods through flood mitigation, through cooling, but the animals allow people to sort of experience nature and experience wildlife in their own backyards.
Today, we're going to be celebrating water. We're going to be sharing stories. We're going to be collecting trash. We're going to upload photos. And it's all about creating a safety net so that we all together showcase interconnectivity and celebrate the waterways so that we can protect ourselves and the community against flooding.
We wanted it to have a visual presence, right? So we have t-shirts, we have banners, we have the logos, but we also wanted to do an activity, because one of the wonderful things about art is when we embody it, right? When we are actually engaged in the making, that kind of is something that stays with us. A metaphor that came to mind is the safety net. How do we create a safety net for each other? So the idea is that you would tie this to the net, right? And then you can weave while you talk, right? Like I'm weaving in and out of the hole. There's no right or wrong. You can weave any way you like. And it's something to do. So this is kind of getting at the idea that we're all interconnected, right? We're interdependent. We're not dependent on each other, and we're not completely independent. We are interdependent with each other.
And the ecosystem around water and the impact that water can have on the environment. And I also want to kind of just challenge us to think about how we perceive water, because we're really connected to water more than we think, right?
The power of water as it relates to climate change, and particularly in this instance, flooding, since we are now in Watts Branch and Oxon Hill, Ward 7 and Ward 8, both of which are in the 100-year floodplain. So we're going to bring awareness to that, to talk about the power of water as it relates to healing and restoration and celebration and transformation.
Because I could enjoy the nature, I can enjoy the people together. At the same time, we can do something for the environment.
Yeah, I love it so much. I found a new talent. Trash picking. I'm really good at it.
It's fun to get involved and remind myself that nature matters, and let's start picking up trash in our own neighborhood.
Even though you see this beautiful canopy here and you say, oh, there are a lot of trees in Oxon Run Park, We only have 58% of the trees that are required or supposed to be required in Ward 8, and the same thing works here in Oxon Run Park. So even though you see all of these trees, when you go to the rest of Ward 8, we are low in terms of our tree canopy. So we're trying to do everything we can, to preserve green space.
One of the things we do with those observations is share them, right? And once we share them, they become part of our collective knowledge. And then that knowledge, once we share it, can help us to get resources we need to fix problems. It can help us to get policies in place to fix problems. It can help us to improve our environment. And it can help raise awareness among our, across communities, right, as to what needs to be done differently and what we're doing well.
So my role in the project was to first go out with Cary and Alshon and Nicole and walk the route and see areas along Watts Branch and Oxon Run where we could stop and talk about nature and talk about ecological things like invasive species and flood mitigation and native trees and what nature provides to the community in which these creeks and these waterways run through the area. And then on the day of the walk, I was just part of the walk with the rest of the folks. I think I really enjoyed learning from folks about the neighborhood, the two neighborhoods that we walked in, and also being able to talk about Watts Branch and how it contributes ecosystem services to the neighborhoods and to the rest of DC, and how water flows from one neighborhood to the next. And so these urban waterways connect us as a community in a way, even though we may be across town from each other. And I was able to provide some insight into the different types of plants and animals that might reside in those green spaces and use those green spaces and those waterways as habitat, and talk about the different types of experiences that people can have with nature in those waterways. So really, while I was the scientist on the walk, I felt like I was just part of the walk, learning a lot from the community, but being able to talk to community members about the nature that they have in their own backyard.
And it's always important to stay informed about the resources that you have for flooding. So it doesn't end at this one-day event. Come to the website that we've made available for you for all the resources about flooding. This project will continue beyond this day. If you provide input, all right, any stories about flooding, any photos that you might have, we're going to use that to create a future work of art, all right? So we need your input. We want you, we need the community, and your participation is important.
If there is something wrong with you, the trees beside you will tell you what's going on and send you the resources that you need. We believe Mimi is doing that same thing. Not we believe, we know Mimi is doing that same exact thing.